You are now listening to the TerrorVision podcast.
Hello there, welcome back to the TerrorVision Home Video Podcast, here today with Brad Henderson and Shon, who's going to be bringing something sort of brand new to the fold, and excited to talk about that in a little while. How's everybody doing? Excited to do this again for our second Friday of these 13 weeks.
Doing good.
Good. Glad to have you, Shon.
It feels longer than a week. It's not even a week yet, but it feels longer than a week.
Well, it's been a very busy week. Why don't you tell us how last week has gone for TerrorVision there, Brad?
Yeah, so, we had a great response, and thank you to everybody that purchased the Student Bodies movie, the bundle that we have for it, the collector's buy. There's the deluxe, which is the movie. I always get these things confused, too. The deluxe, which is the movie, and the booklet, and the CD, and then we have the deluxe, which is the little items, the buttons, the bumper sticker and poster and some other stuff. And then we have the mega bundle, which had the horsehead bookends, which sold out pretty quickly, as kind of expected, just because I think the horsehead, I don't care for merch at all, like in this stuff. This is a lot of Ryan that does this, which I always think a lot of it's cool for sure, and I'm into it. But I never, when I ask for them to send me the movies, I never ask. I'm like, I don't want the extra stuff. Right. I don't want any of the stickers. I don't want any of the bumper stickers. I don't want anything. I didn't even get the bib. I denied the baby bib from Rumple. Could have used it. But yeah, I was happy with kind of the response on that and the bundles, and people really like that stuff. But if there was one thing I was behind, is what I was getting at. One thing I'm behind on creating, trinkets, is the horsehead bookends. That was like from the get-go. I was like, we got to do horsehead bookends. Yeah. So I think people dug it. I appreciate the response and enthusiasm for 13 weeks. That's, again, just the first week. We have 12 more. We're in week 2 now. I have a feeling this 13 weeks is going to drag pretty hard, but a lot of fun for hopefully the customers and the viewers. A lot more work for us. And then we also had Death by Dialogue, which is, it's our 4th City Lights movie, and I was surprised kind of how people were into that, just because when you release these movies, I mean, it's weird because, growing up and, having access to numerous video stores through the years, because when I lived in Florida, live in Florida. But when we first moved to Florida, where we were, we had like 4 or 5 mom and pop video stores around us within like 5 miles. And then, Blockbuster came in the 90s, and they carried a lot of weird stuff too. It was a franchise, not a corporate store. So the store ordered for themselves practically, not what the corporation gave to them. So our Blockbuster was a little bit different. And then I would spend summers in Ohio, and we had, in the Canton, Maslin area, we had a video store called Video Time, and there was a couple of them nearby. So growing up, seeing like Death by Dialogue on the shelf, pretty much every store I went to, it's kind of neat because these films have disappeared. No one knows what they are because, it's been 30 years since you're renting videos, especially these new releases that were out at the time, because these would have been on the new release wall or whatever, probably 1 or 2 copies for the City Lights stuff. But it's kind of neat to see people remember these titles, but also give kind of a chance to a lot of these, at one time, video store staples. Like, these things were everywhere. It's just that I think we forget. You know, it's a common thing, and I think people kind of forget this happens. Is that, you know, you have music that you listen to, and you really like these tunes, you really like that song, and then before you know it, like 4 or 5 years later, you look at it and you're like, why did I stop listening? Oh, I forgot all about this song. You know, that sort of thing. We forget things. We forget how good things are. We forget things that exist. And that's kind of like a lot of our films. Sadly, you know, they are forgotten about, but we didn't forget about them. And we wanted to bring them back out. So, yeah, I'm excited to bring kind of these, what I consider video store staples, you know, for me at least. And I know that there were many places, because obviously the numbers that these guys tell us that these things sold into the millions per unit, per film, 1 million units. That's insane. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. I don't think people realize that back in the day, VHS tapes cost stores like between $60 to $90, sometimes even more. That's what you paid per unit. You were paying that up until way late, because even when I worked at a video store in the late 90s, it was still like $80 a tape. When a tape went missing or someone didn't return it, you would charge them like $89.99, you know, whether it was rented 100 times or not. Yeah, it's just really cool. I'm just very thankful that people are receptive on this stuff. We also have the Cheerleader Camp LP, which, you know, I think everybody knows Cheerleader Camp. And yeah, the tunes are great. It's got the cheers. I'm a big fan of the movie, big fan of the score. So I'm glad that's out. And yeah, and then also any new subscribers. We had an influx of subscribers, which was really, really nice on the video club side. Because one, you know, it is a great deal. Even with the price increase, it's still a great deal. But it's really nice to see how many people kind of vibe and trust the brand, that they're willing to sign up and give us all this money so we can torture them with our goodies. But it is a great time to subscribe. I've been telling that to people, not just from a business standpoint, but like we have so many like of these deluxe sets and UHDs coming out that it really is kind of a big bang for your buck. If you don't like the movie, sell it. You can double your money. Like it's literally, you can double your money. You're getting this thing for like $20. You can sell Rumpelstiltskin for $40, $60, $80 now. You know, people got that for $20. So, but yeah, it's just nice to see so many people kind of support us and you know what we do. And yeah, I mean, the past few years have been amounting to this moment, really. You know, this 13 weeks. This is a lot of stuff in this lineup we've been working on for many years. So it's I think I don't know if we mentioned on the last show, it feels kind of like a new era for TerraVision. And yeah, I'm glad people are willing to play ball. That's it. Combine orders. Don't forget that. I'll let you talk about that, Ryan.
On that note, in the last week, I know that we've gotten a pretty huge influx in subscribers, which has led to a bit of an email bottleneck. On top of that, Elena and everybody else getting to shipping suddenly in the dark, and the Devil's Sword and all these other things have led to pretty much all hands on deck on shipping. So you might see a slight delay on some of those subscriber emails at first. But keep in mind, they're coming. We pretty much offer like a personal one-on-one concierge for these subscribers. So to get that service, you got to wait just a couple days sometimes when we're behind and getting caught up. So that's a good thing for TerraVision. And that's a good thing for you for the titles that you're going to be getting because of it. So just be patient. We're on the way to you. But today, got a lot of fun things to announce, some fun reveals.
You know, I know I see a lot of people worry about they're going to miss out on something, and you won't. You won't miss out, because the thing is like, even we say like this is 4,000 or this is 3,000 or there's 22 left. It's a number, a general number for our warehouse, so we don't oversell things and disappoint. I mean, that's the whole idea. So if you sign up and you want something, like the number's low. Like, I know when people were signing up, they were worried about getting gator bait because they wanted to maybe start there. You'll be fine. we'll take care of you. We always overshoot this thing because we have damages, we have lost packages, we have stolen packages, and plus we want to sell stuff in the store. We want to sell stuff at cons, so we typically always a little bit more. There are cases where we don't because things get so badly damaged, like I think the Shoestring Slasher boxes. We had so many that were crushed, that it really kind of put it was really rough to get the good product to the customer because so many were damaged. And our team's they're sticklers about sending stuff out, mainly because they probably get annoyed by the complaints of one little scuff, so that they're even more alert than normal. So.
Yes, lots of stuff to reveal today, though, to make the subscription exciting for everybody. Again, all of those are still available, so make sure you're checking the site for those. But first, let's go to Shon, who's got something pretty exciting and new to share.
We partnered up with the Eli Roth The Horror Section to release the soundtrack for their first big theatrical release that's coming out today, Jimmy and Stiggs, the new Joe Begos movie, which I got the pleasure to see, and it is just as crazy as all the reviews that you're reading. It's a cocaine-fueled neon blast. Like, and it's a buddy film with aliens. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, he filmed it, I guess, like during the pandemic and stuff in his own apartment. Like, the Cannibal Holocaust poster is his. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's a crazy fucking movie. So, and we're releasing that on CD, vinyl, and cassette. It's going to be one of our first releases that's coming out of our pressing plant. And it should be shipping here by the around the end of August is when everything should be ready to go if nothing else happens. So, the score is by Steve Moore, who did VFW, Bliss, and The Guest. Oh, well, it's already cursed. There's been a number of things behind the scenes going on with this, trying to get it from point A to point B. But the Steve Moore does really cool synth-driven scores, and this one is really unique in that it almost feels like it's another character because it's just two characters in a room, and it kind of adds a level to it that is different from most of the synth stuff where it's just kind of layered in and you're like, whoa. But this one is really, it's textured in. So it's a cool score. We'll have that. We'll have it in some neon soaked vinyl. I think even we're going with the orange and green. So even if you got a black light, it sets off on your record player. The cassettes will be in a fluorescent green and a really bright red Sonic. And then we'll have the CDs as well. So it's the premiere release for it. And we're kind of partnering with them on this release and maybe more. So there's a lot coming that they have planned and want to do. So maybe we'll be doing some more down the road with them.
Very nice. This, I think, is playing in AMC's across the country this weekend. Yeah. I've got tickets to see it Sunday night, and I think my wife is going to be pissed when she sees this. Yeah. Not a film for my wife, but it's going to be fun.
I told you guys off camera, my wife did not enjoy it. I loved it. So it's there's a lot of flashing lights, fluorescent. The splatter and stuff everywhere. It's a cool film, and you can tell that it's kind of a personal film and shows Joe off as an actor more than just behind the camera. So, yeah.
Yeah, and supposedly they're doing a pop-up in LA for this to show the set of the film, and his actual furniture is in the pop-up, which is hilarious to me. So right now his apartment is just empty.
Yeah, I got to see photos of that, and have been talking to them behind the scenes as they're all like, what are you doing today? Well, we're on our way to set up this. And it's like, oh, cool. And the premiere, I think, is Thursday night at Tarantino's Vista Theater out in LA. So it should be a big release for them, I think, more than if people go out to it, which I urge people to go out and support the independent cinema at this point, because this is such a unique film that I think that me sitting on my couch in the basement did not do it justice as compared to seeing it in a packed theater with a bunch of, people like us that are going to be into that type of film, where my wife was just eating popcorn and not enjoying the film for what it was. And
right. Excellent. Yeah, that's really cool. I hope it does well.
I hope it does for them too.
You can order that on the site now. It is live. You've got all three of the options as listed there by Shon. Stoked to see what comes from this. And yeah, one of the first pressings out of the new pressing plant. That's always exciting too.
Yep. We're going to go big or go home on this to make it look just, I told the guys, I'm like, I want it to be holy shit when you see it, because it's the first thing coming out. So like, let's go for it, you know?
Excellent. Well, speaking of holy shit, we got something new that has not happened yet through TerraVision. Brad, I would normally say reveal a mystery, but if anything, you're just showing that there is a mystery. Tell us what is first up this week on the home video side.
Yeah, so our first video release, we're excited about. We wanted to do something a little bit, different. We, obviously this 13 weeks of Halloween is kind of a big deal for us, and for the brand, for our name. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of cool things that, like I said, we've had in the works. So this was just something kind of fun we wanted to do, just kind of not really a curveball, but we're having a mystery title that is available now to purchase. It is not going to be said what it is until it's in people's hands. And when it's in people's hands, it will be too late to buy it on the site. So from now until October 1st, this will be available. It's $14.99. You will get it in your TerraVision subscription. So if you're a subscriber, you don't have to worry about it. You'll get it automatically. But it is a $14.99 title. And again, you will not know what it is in time to purchase it. It will be unavailable through the site. It will not ship until, because this one's actually in hand, but we will not be shipping it until basically after 13 weeks is over and people have purchased everything that they want. Then that will go out. If you don't purchase anything else from us for 13 weeks of Halloween, but just this, it will not ship until after October 31st, and it'll still be too late. So we're keeping a really, really tight lid on the secret. It's fun. It's just a fun thing we wanted to do at a low price. And these are limited to 2,000, and they will go probably fairly quickly, I imagine. Everybody loves a mystery, the mystery boxes. And also, the customers really influence this because the mystery boxes do incredibly well online and in person. So we have realized that everybody loves a mystery. So we are doing that for you. This is for the customer. But yeah, just a fun little thing. It doesn't cost much. It's just... but I really don't want you to get stuck in, thinking, oh, I'm going to get this on eBay and then have to pay like $100 for it or something stupid. Right. It's only $17.99. And if you are a TerraVision completionist, if you do want every catalog number, this is number 34.
Pretty early.
So if you don't grab it, you will have that one number that sticks out. Well, it won't stick out because you won't have it. It will just be that space, that empty void on your shelf between 33 and 35, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life. So anyways, yeah, mystery title. It has extras. It's a normal release. We would have announced it just like everything else, but we just did this one. Yeah, there's nothing else that's special about it. Like it's just a normal regular release, but we wanted to just have some fun with it. That's it.
So we're not giving any clues whatsoever what this is. It could be a huge title, it could be a tiny title, it could be something that you've wanted for years and you won't know unless it's in your hands.
Yeah, I mean, and please don't pay eBay prices for it. Oh my gosh.
But also, I mean, incredibly inexpensive for what you're getting. Like, this is a full TerraVision release. Extras,
it's just,
highest quality control slipcover, Blu-ray, everything. Like, this is a really, really great deal.
So, but yeah, available now until October 31st or whatever, and then it's pulled off the site, never available again. Then you have to go behind dark alleys and, the underbelly of New York to try to find a copy of this movie.
Unless all 2,000 sell before Halloween, of course, then it won't be available.
True. Yeah. Just get it. It's fun.
Well, speaking of fun,
that's how I'm going to pitch everything. I'm just going to say, bye, it's fun. Let's get it.
I mean, that's kind of the TerrorVision brand. I'm into that.
I mean, it is true. We kind of do that with everything.
Fun.
Yeah.
More fun for this week. We've got one more thing to reveal that are going to make a lot of people pretty happy, I think. Brad, tell us about.
Will it make a bunch of people happy? Is that a promise?
I'm going to make that a promise because, if anything, this is one of the most requested in the comments when we are talking about upcoming stuff. They're like, well, this is cool, but what about this coming up? The only other one that would make people happier is maybe Rocktober Blood, but I do see this happening a lot.
Huh. I didn't know people. Well, I mean, I hope people are into it. So, with as we stated before, I've stated online, I'll state in these videos, is that the whole reason for TerrorVision to do an upgrade is from a previous edition that is just not up to standards or even today's standards. If stuff looks good already, it's not like we'll never touch something like that. We probably will eventually. But starting out, we wanted to, because I love the format. I love when these movies came out. I was buying Blu-rays when they were dumb expensive, but I've always done that with every format. I was buying Laserdiscs $100. I was buying DVDs at like $60. When Blu-ray came out, obviously, and we had a slew of bad Blu-rays, by the way, during that time. But we thought it was good because it was at today's standards with those televisions, and then, then boutique stuff started happening a few years later. And there's just a kind of a mass release of like these smaller movies that had decent releases. They were good Blu-rays during that time, but now things have changed so much in the tech and also kind of what their capabilities back then. So this one had a previous Blu-ray. It's equivalent to stuff like Nailgun Massacre, which obviously is the same company that did that, and our upcoming release of Happy Hell Night later. But we did a 4K UHD on Hide and Go Shriek, which I'm very excited about because this was a slasher film that I kind of I grew up with, but I didn't watch like as a young kid. Like I was allowed to rent all types of things, but for some reason the tattoo on the foot bothered me on this cover, and I didn't like it. And I never took the dive when I was younger to rent it. There's also another movie. I think it's called something with tattoos. I guess I don't know. It was called Prey of the Chameleon. I think it was called. It turned out to be kind of an erotic thriller. It's this really beautiful girl, like she's got her jacket down and she's showing her back, and she's got this crazy back tattoo. But so yeah, something for, I guess, tattoos would bother me when I was younger. So I never really rented this, and I did when I was a little bit older. But I love these one location slasher films because it shows so much like with in front of the camera and behind the camera of how these things are done. And this is like the only movie that Skip Skulnick ever directed, I think. He was a big time editor. He worked on, stuff like he's the guy known to kind of save Halloween 2. If anybody knows the true story of Halloween 2, is that Rick Rosenthal shot the movie. It was like 98 minutes. They watched it, they edited it, and they were like, absolutely not. This does not work. So they cut it down to like 70 minutes, and then Skip and Carpenter went in and they reshot some of the movie and added a few things. And that's where Carpenter was on set. Well, Skip was like a huge proponent of that, pushing to get this to what we know and love as Halloween 2 today. So yeah, Skip was kind of like a savior when it comes to editing movies. He was known as one of the big guys, kind of like man, what's his name that directed Brain Fart, Incredible Melting Man. Like that director ended up, he was a big time, he was a ghost editor in Hollywood, and he basically ghost edited stuff. Like, he's the one that made Leprechaun into more or less a dark comedy because it wasn't that in the beginning. William
Sachs.
William Sachs, yeah. So Bill just passed away not too long ago. R.I.P. Bill. I think he passed away. But yeah, Bill Sachs was is he passed away? Did I just make a mistake on live television? I think Bill
No,
died.
he died last year, April of 2024.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bill. He was a really nice guy. I worked with him quite a few times. But yeah, he would just tell these stories about how I edited this movie. I'm like, what? And he's like, I edited it. He's like, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. He's like, they paid me like millions of dollars to edit these movies. And like, he was, you hear script doctors, like someone like Shane Black in Hollywood. Well, Bill and Skip were kind of script or editor doctors, doctor editor. There you go. So yeah, Skip had an opportunity to direct this film. Dimitri Villard is the producer, which he made kind of just a slew of these low budget films. He worked with Corman back in the day. He was given some money, and they wanted to make some cheap, like quick movies, and Hide and Go Shriek was the first one. They wanted a one location horror film, and there you go, set entirely in a furniture store. So yeah, we did a new scan of the Inner Positive on this. Did a 4K UHD with Dolby Vision and high dynamic range. It has it's a deluxe box, so it has that chunky box that people like. It will just be a UHD and a Blu-ray. There's no CD on this one. Ross, I'm drawing a blank on the name too. The composer for this just doesn't have the music anymore. He ended up doing bigger things, but he didn't have any music that he created for this movie. But what's special about this release is, one, we did even more extras than before. We have a commentary with Skip and Mark Manos, who, Skip was an editor, but he was in the director chair for this one. So he hired a couple people. He hired Adam Wolf and Mark Manos. Both went on to, I believe, win multiple Emmys for editing as well. Mark became a big time editor, mainly because he was under the wing of Skip this entire time. So, yeah, Mark and Skip still really good pals. They did a commentary for the film. And then we have a really big making of for this called Shatterproof that is edited and you just say directed by Rock, which John Daly is, I guess, his real name that people call him. He edited this. We have interviews with Sean Cannon, who plays the lead, Rhea Pavia, who plays the chick that gets murdered in the sink, Dimitri Villard, who's the producer, Mark Manos, the editor, Lauren, what's her last name? Yakel? Yeah. Yakel, who is kind of a do-it-all still is. Like, she probably has, what's weird is she probably has the biggest career out of everybody on this movie. And then Donald Spencer, who plays one of the kind of the manager dudes that's in the beginning. I think I'm missing somebody here. I don't know. It's like 7 or 8 people. Oh, Skip. Did I mention Skip? Yeah, Skip's in it. So it's this whole making of this film, and we're really proud of it because the extras that were done on this. I think Code Red did a few extras. I think they did an interview with Skip. They did an interview with Dimitri, the producer, and I think they had an interview with Jeff, who plays the red herring in the film. Spoiler alert. Who everybody thinks the killer, but it's not. It's very obvious who the killer. Like, it's not him, because especially watching this in 4K, you see his face from the get-go. Like, I know as a kid watching these murky VHS tapes, we're like, ooh, it's a mystery. But I was watching Intruder the other day, and I was like, it's very obvious it's the fucking manager. Like, it's
Right.
him. You see his face. You see the outline of his fucking face. So in this one, this character isn't shown in the movie, so it's not like a whodunit. It's a new character that's introduced that's doing the killing. So it's actually kind of just a stranger. I mean, he has a connection to the characters, but he's not really seen in the film. But yeah, it's the UHD is so funny because I get when people are like, it kind of ruins them. Yeah, you do. You see the strings, you see other shit. But I think it's part of the charm because you get to kind of like visualize how this stuff happened
Yeah.
or what they were trying to do. Yeah, so it has the long making of. It has subtitles, and then what's special about this release is that when they try to get this actually played theatrically, but they had to edit it down. So the first time that this was seen unrated, unedited, was on VHS and Laserdisc, and then with the Code Red Blu-ray, it was the edited film because they used the negative that we have, but they didn't put. There's a really cool, which Screaming Mad George did the special effects on it, so I guess he had the biggest career out of everybody. Screaming Mad George did the special effects, and there's this really cool beheading when the elevator shaft cuts off the Sean Cannon's girlfriend in the film. I can't think of her name. She was actually Bruce Springsteen's. Bob Seger. That's right. I get those two confused. Bob Seger's girlfriend is the blonde that wears like the blue top, who gets her head decapitated from the. So what's crazy? Bob Seger was on the set of this movie. It's good.
That's interesting.
But Bobby Seger was on the set. Apparently Bobby was very protective of his girlfriend and wanted to be there for the nude scenes, because she does get naked a few times. So
you just sold 12 more copies.
there's nudity in the movie. But yeah, we did that. So this film, ever since basically since VHS Laserdisc, this will be the first time it's presented in its entirety as the unedited version of the film. Before it was, that mainly it's just one scene, but it's a crucial scene because it's a really good special effect. So we have sourced a Laserdisc from that. Which also the full length movie of the Hide and Go Shriek Laserdisc is on this disc as well as kind of a bonus. Also, the old Code Red version as well. So you have the Laserdisc, the Code Red, and the UHD, and of course our Blu-ray for it to watch it. So that will be placed in, so that way it looks good. Code Red put the scene on the Blu-ray, but I swear to God, they like just filmed it with a video camera from YouTube or something, and then put it as an extra. It is such bad quality. I don't even think it's from a VHS rip. I think it's literally from YouTube or something. So yeah, that sequence is back in the film. This also has a booklet with writing from Jason Kleberg, Stephanie Crawford, Michael Verratti, Clint Kelly, I believe. No, not Clint. I don't think he did that. I think he did Student Bodies. Myself, I think Alexander Heller Nicholas did one too, and I think that's it. I think there's like 5. And yeah, I was kind of happy with how all the essays came out for this one because we each kind of tackled something a little bit different. I know Jason wrote about kind of like, the one location horror films. And I kind of I wanted to do that too, but a kind of a more deep dive into how successful these movies were basically at the video store. And kind of like this one in particular, this is like a true video store staple. You saw that foot with that fucking tattoo like I did, and you were terrified of the foot tattoo. I don't know why I was so scared. Also, the other cover that scared me. Hey, Ripley. Shh. The other cover that scared me for years I didn't watch was fucking Evil Dead 2. I didn't like those eyes looking at me. And I thought that movie was going to be absolutely terrifying. And then to find out it's a fucking comedy, I was like, So yeah, this one, we have, of course, the combined orders, which we already mentioned. So if you purchased anything from the previous week. You can check out with the code combined, all caps, combine, not combined, combine, all caps, and that will, make that go into your previous package that you already paid for shipping for. And then this is also a little cheaper because it doesn't have the CD. So I think our normal prices for UHD deluxe sets are $45. This will be $42, but it will be $39.99 for the introductory price for the first week, kind of like how Student Bodies and Death by Dialogue were. These prices will go up, and next Friday when we do week 3 of Goodness Sakes, week 3 of 13 Weeks of Halloween, we're on week 2. But you can use the code combine to combine all the shipping, so you can save a lot, purchase the titles, buy them at the introductory price. And before you know it, if you didn't even get the subscription, you save a lot of money buying the introductory price. Just add it to the cart and boom, you're done. But yeah, this is $39.99 that will raise to $42. There's no introductory price on the mystery title because it's just a flat $14.99. The deluxe version of Hide and Go Shriek is, of course, included in your TerraVision subscription, which is still available. We have the 15 tier, the 30 tier, the 50 tier. It's new tiers with a little bit of a price increase. It's just less options. Because if you want to blame anybody, blame Ryan Barrell. He thought it was too many options. He was like, "Don't do this. Don't do so many options." And I was like, "Yes, President of Physical Media, let me change this immediately."
Thankfully, I can edit this part out. That's fine.
You shouldn't. You should just leave it in.
Of course.
But yeah, excited about Hide and Go Shriek. And I think it's a huge improvement, very much kind of how we handled Nail Gun Massacre. It had pretty much the same issues. It had the same issues. It might be a little worse because it's super pixelated. I think there's scanner lines. It's not. It doesn't look that great. This also is approved from Skip and Mark, who supervised everything and signed off what the film should look like. And yeah, we're super happy about it. So,
big question for everybody that is listening after: when does this ship? If they're not waiting for the whole 13 weeks, when does the ship on its own?
This will ship in probably October, just because those rigid boxes take so long for them to come in. And when we do these bigger sets, just so people know, there's so many different things that are involved. Everything kind of comes from a different place because we try to manufacture most of our stuff here in the United States. But some of this stuff does come from overseas. So it all has to kind of come together and then be shrink wrapped and everything. But even so, the amount of time it takes for them to, print these up, make the boxes, and then ship them, just when you're putting stuff on a big shipping container and shipping overseas, it takes sometimes like a month, 2 months, 3 months. It can. And there's not really tracking on these things. It's kind of hard. So, and plus they end up in weird places. We've had them end up, that's what had Suddenly in the Dark. We had end up in Jacksonville, which isn't crazy, but it's still not the location it was supposed to arrive at. But we've had random people, like normal people, be like, they have it at their place. And it's like they get these pallets of shit that they can't put anywhere. Imagine just being at your house and then be delivered pallets of Suddenly in the Dark. But anyways, but yeah, so those things take a little while. So there's obviously these moving parts, but we're trying to get a good portion of these titles out that are announced in August and early September. 2 people in October. Obviously, the stuff that's announced in late September and October won't probably get to you until November, December. These things, people complain all the time about not having things at hand. We're a small business. These things kind of bankroll themselves. So if you're excited about it, cool. Just don't get pissy with us because we also want things to be perfect and not have issues with stuff like Suddenly in the Dark or Devil's Sword, or even the slipcover for Children of Violent Rome. Like, we're hoping that these issues are cleared up, because we do manufacture most of the stuff in the United States, and we want to keep it there. So, like, we don't want to look at we want this company to fix their issues so we can use them. If you've noticed across the board, there's been issues with, I think A24 had something go on. Severin they had the same issue with one of their discs in the Italian. What was it? The box set they had an issue with, Brian?
The Danza Macabra Volume 4. It was the same thing. The laminated or the lacquer on one of the discs.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the problem with the Suddenly Dark Blu-rays. It's just too much lacquer is used in the pour, basically. So those have screwed up. Obviously, Vinegar Syndrome has had some issues. Even some unannounced. They didn't even announce it. They just sent discs like for the Golden Child and Destroy All Monsters. There was a problem that was identified at the place. It's been resolved, and so there shouldn't be issues moving forward. But again, we really want to keep this stuff manufactured in the United States, because that's why we, as a company alone, we can have the prices that we have right now, which we consider very, very cheap and very competitive to other labels. That's how we're keeping these prices low.
Well, and speaking of bang for the buck, one more like selling point on this that probably in a form of humility you did not stress enough. I really want to highlight the making of on this disc is probably like top 3 of the special features TerrorVision has ever produced. For those that like interviews with people that made the films and behind the scenes stories and stuff like that, this is probably one of the better ones from the last couple of years that I've seen. It's really well put together. The questions are excellent. The interviews have some genuinely interesting things to say. It's not a lot of stuff is like duplicated info. There's not a lot of filler, which unfortunately in a lot of these making of docs, just to pad that runtime, they're edited in a way that sometimes have some filler. And this one is really kind of all gas, no brakes, and very, very excited to see what people think of it, because it's an incredible disc supplement.
Yeah. There's some good stuff. There's also some like very personal stuff.
Yeah.
Shon tells a story about how he felt violated during his casting session, and it's just like a lot of personal. His raw interview is pretty heavy. But he didn't have a problem doing this, but he obviously has some stuff he wanted to get off his chest. So he kind of used this as to kind of launch that and get those stories out. But yeah, it's a really, I agree. It's a really good, it's longer too. I think it's like almost hits like 50 minutes or something.
Yep.
But yeah, this is probably the chunkiest thing that we've done, like as one piece, because I know that there's been multiple pieces like on Rumple and Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter, but I think this might be one of the longer pieces that we've done at TerrorVision. So anyways, yeah, it's a great release. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I really would like to continue doing these kind of slasher films and video store staples. And stuff like this. It's just we just need it to do well in order to keep it up. So,
yeah. Shon,
I was going to ask. I did miss the whole thing last week. But I saw some like talk online and stuff, and I was wondering about the decision to like start including like the Laserdisc versions on there, and like how you guys are going about that, and is it different cuts of the film, things like that. Like I was hoping you could. It's kind of a cool thing that I don't think anybody else is doing. So
So originally it was needed for Hide and Go Shriek in Gator Bait 2, because we needed Gator Bait 2 in order to have a better version of the the final reel that's missing. And then I wanted a better version of the decapitation scene in Hide and Go Shriek. So it kind of started that way, and then Ryan can tell the rest of the story, I guess.
I mean, I've got a friend that is like one of the foremost collectors of laser discs in the U.S., and he's been willing to partner with TerraVision to help with some of the scans so that we can locate some of these. There's literally films that the only physical existence of the materials of the film is like a Taiwanese laser disc, and only one exists that we all know of, and he's the one that owns it. So he's got the tech to be able to scan it for us and get us the material. And while we're looking at some of these moving forward, if we need it, he's going to be a valuable resource for us.
It's amazing.
And it's just like from an archival standpoint, obviously we can't load up every disc with like a laser disc and then, the VHS and all these other different versions of the movie. Like I wish we could, but everything that you put on a disc costs money. It's just that the laser disc stuff is harder to basically transfer and replicate than it is like a DVD where you can burn, and a VHS you can just screen capture. It's just something cool to include. And like I said, we try to the same thing with like nail gun. I think there's multiple versions that have existed that's on that disc. Hide and go streak, we have, like I said, the laser disc in the old version. I just want, it's kind of like a history of how these films were seen. I think it's cool. I wish we could do a little bit more. But when they come in, when everything kind of falls in place, it's kind of neat to show the history visually of how these films were seen and looked at. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Oh. All right. Anything you want to tease for next week, or any other parting words?
Yeah. So week 3 is a lighter week. I will say that because we've kind of had 2 heavy weeks with 2 UHDs deluxe sets and 2 basically LPs and 2 Blu-rays. This one is just, I believe, just one movie. We're just doing one movie. So that's that. And I will just say it's not a TerraVision release. It's not a Greyface release. It's also not a Culture Shock release. So if that's what people jump to, something different. So I'm very, very, very excited about this, because this was probably close to like 14 years in the making of me trying to do this title, at least. I'm very, very excited about this announcement release. It's kind of like my baby. So I'm hoping this does well. And I think people will be really into it. I really hope they are. I think they will. I think it's going to be kind of a no-brainer for people, but I hope people are into it, because it's going to be a small but wild ride.
I think this next week is one of the more exciting things for me too. For much of this, I'm very curious to see how people respond to it. So we will see you all back next Friday. Hope you enjoy these. Check them out as usual. Like we said, we have stuff coming literally for the next. This has been 2 weeks, so 11 weeks. It's a lot of work. Don't forget to use that combine, capital COMBINE, when you order.
Good job.
You'll be able to get all of these, and subscribe. Obviously, now after 2 weeks, you can see that we got some heat coming. And if these are just the first 2, man, you are not ready for the rest. Thank you, Shon. Thank you, Brad. This has been excellent. Congrats on a solid week too.
Thank you.